guys, it's Sophia and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys 35 different ways that you can build in 1.13 Minecraft. So I've been playing around with the snapshot and using all the different new materials that they're going to be introducing to the game. I've come up with lots of ways that you can do interior design with them, you could build with them, you could garden with them. So I'm going to be going through and showing you guys a bunch of ways that you can do that. Now there is a feature in 1.13 called the Debugging Stick, and I know a lot of people are playing around building furniture with that, but because I want to build things that everyone can build, especially in survival, I'm going to be doing just the basics today and doing something that everyone can build. So my first design that I've come up with, I'm going to go around the outside before I get to the center. So this here is simply the acacia trapdoors, and I've used them to make some hallway kind of like beams. Now this is something you can see in really old homes in Australia, in my state in particular, so if you want to add a little bit more detail to your hallway, think about that. But I've also used the acacia trapdoors here for a patio cover. Now I think this looks really nice because it looks like actual wooden slats. I've used this with oak trapdoors, but I think the acacia looks a lot better, so look out for doing acacia for that. Whereas if I come inside my little fake house I've built here, now I have used these stone slabs to build a really nice modern fireplace. Now I know these stone slabs and also the smooth sandstone I've got at the back here is something that you can do in creative Minecraft if your server has some stuff to allow that building. But just for survival purposes, I've included them here so lots of people know all the different ways that you can build with the blocks. I think the smooth sandstone makes a really great wallpaper. I keep running into these bushes I've placed, but my next design here is using the red mushroom block, and I have made a really cute wallpaper here. So if you have got a girly room or you're building a little cottage or something like that, I think this makes a really great wallpaper, so think about doing something like that. I have also built here a privacy screen. Now I have done these with the oak trapdoors, but I think they look really great with the acacia blocks. I think they can also really look good though with the jungle blocks. This is especially great if you have a oriental theme build, like something Asian. I think the jungle look makes a really great privacy screen as well, but you could also use any of the wooden blocks as well. Now this next design here, I have made a crib, which I've simply used the acacia trapdoors for. It has that really nice kind of like crib bar look. But the other thing I've done here is I've actually used the inside of the mushroom block to make a floor. So the carpet here, all you want to do is place your mushroom block and then just place any type of block on top, and it removes the top layer and you have the inside there. I think it makes a really cool looking kind of like texture carpet, especially for a kid's room, a toy room, anything like that. I've just built this little girl's baby room here, so I've also just put a purple bed on the inside of my crib, but you can choose whatever color you like. Now my next design here is a traditional kind of library or study look, and I have used the dark oak trapdoors to make a little wooden kind of like detailing around the bottom of my wall. Now I think this looks really great, and it has that really kind of like proper library look. So if you you have like an old mansion or something like that, or an old palace, I think that looks really great for a paneling. Whereas my next idea here, I've made a Japanese style build. So the same as kind of like the paneling over there, I've used the privacy screen look to make a sliding door here with the jungle trapdoors. Now the other thing you can do, you can also use it to make little window details like I have up here. So if you're wanting little kind of oriental windows, instead of just using a fence post, if you use the jungle trapdoors, it makes a really great look. Now I think this has really enhanced the look of Japanese rooms, so I really recommend doing it in Minecraft now. My next design is something that I've seen floating around, so not full credit to me, but full credit to the people. A lot of people like this idea. Now this is the idea that you have thin walls. Now how people are doing this, they are simply using two trapdoors right next to each other to make these walls. I think this would look really good for like a garden shed or maybe a cabin type build. I personally probably wouldn't use it for a lot of things, but I would use it for garden sheds because I think it has a really nice look. Garden sheds are really small builds, so I think it would be good for a small build like that. Whereas this next build, I am simply using the smooth sandstone to make a really nice looking modern bathroom. Very sleek very crisp, so if you're wanting something a little bit modern in your house, the smooth sandstone will make a really great bathroom look. My next few designs now are to do with the kitchen. So my first design here, I have used the mushroom stem to make my kitchen cabinets. Reason for this, if you look at the block carefully, I think the grey kind of looks like the grain of the wood, which are like the little stripes that you see going through wood. So I think it makes a really nice white wood look. I think it would be quite nice in modern houses, kitchen, and like little cottages or anything like that. Whereas my next design here, I have used the wood bark block, which you have no ends to make my cabinets. It's especially nice when you have these tall double ones. You don't have to hide the base because it doesn't have that inside ring look. I have also used the spruce trapdoor to make a matching little kind of shelf in my spruce kitchen there. Whereas my last kitchen design here, I have used the birch to make some kitchen cupboard doors. And I think these look like quite nice because they look like proper kind of kitchen cabinet doors. You could also do them on the bottom, but I think they look good just as like hanging kitchen cabinets. But that is my kitchen designs. Now the last designs we're going to do around the outside. The first is the idea of a medieval house, especially the spruce trapdoors or the dark oak trapdoors, the dark oak buttons, spruce buttons, anything like that is going to look really nice with your medieval builds. Even if you don't like the look of the ring look that you have on the wood, you can have now the bark blocks on the edge of your building if that's something that you would prefer. But I think these new wooden blocks are going to go really well for your medieval builds, and I think it's something that you should look into doing if that's your kind of building style in Minecraft. This next build here is simply a kind of like Spanish inspired or Moroccan inspired build. Now I have used the smooth red sandstone for my build here today. I have also used the acacia buttons for my little details here. Normally I would use the oak or the normal wood buttons or the stone buttons to do this, but I think the acacia looks really complementing, like it complements really well with the red there. So that's something else you can do. In my final room here, I have actually used the new smooth face non-carved pumpkin block to make a wallpaper. Something a little bit unconventional, but I think it looks quite nice. Now I wouldn't put any windows in here just because you're going to see that stem detail, so put windows to the other sides of the room. But if you're wanting to add like a really subtle pop of color, I think the pumpkin block actually makes a really nice wallpaper surprisingly, so that's something else you should look into too. Now we're going to start focusing on the inside. What we might first do is look at this bit here, just because this was kind of like my last area around the outside. Now this is a really simple way of city building. Now the smooth stone block I think looks really great to make little retaining walls in your cities, edges to roads, anything like that. The smooth like stone block is going to look really nice. Now you don't have to have the slabs and lots of little lines, you can just use the smooth stone block. But let's start getting into this middle section now. My first couple of things here is this muddy pathway. I have included the brown mushroom block in this now because I think it's a nice variant and I think the ripples in it kind of look like footprints. The other thing I've done here is I've included some wooden buttons. Now the reason for this is stone buttons look clean, wooden buttons look dirty. So if you have little stone buttons on the grass outside of the wooden path, or outside of the muddy path, sorry, it looks like they're clean, and then the wooden ones on the path look like they're covered in mud. So I use the spruce on the lighter colored bits of dirt and the dark oak on the podzol. Now these designs here is something I always do. I always do trapdoors and stuff like that to make plant pots, but the new ones can make some really pretty trapdoors or like pot designs in the little birch buttons on anything like that. So play around and come up with a bunch. But speaking of these spruce trapdoors, they also make really nice garden beds. So if you're wanting to make a planter's garden, like a little garden vegetable patch type thing, and you're wanting some long garden beds, these spruce make a really nice rusticy looking garden bed. I think it looks really nice, like I already said, so I recommend doing that. But the other thing you can do with these spruce pressure plates, or particularly any type of pressure plate, is just make little pathways with it. Now typically when I build a modern house, I will use a stone like pressure plate to make a little pathway or something like that. But I think the spruce or anything like that will work really great as well. Now I have used these spruce trapdoors here to make a bridge. So I think this looks really nice for little thin bridges. You don't have to have it high like I did. You could build it right against the water if that's what you prefer. I also made some really dodgy entrances to my bridge here just because for the sake of having an entrance. But all I've done is built the trapdoors right next to each other and then just put trapdoors along the top like this. And it just makes a little kind of like wall for my bridge. But I think that's a really nice way to add a different type of bridge to your game, especially if you're wanting something very small, detailed, and I suppose like dainty or delicate. But my next design here is using the wood bark block to make trees. Now I already make a lot of trees in Minecraft myself. I've got a couple of tutorials which you can also check out on my channel. But the bark block makes for really smooth looking, kind of like realistic trees. You can still include the normal wood block, which I think could be great for showing like cut wood. Maybe you're building like a wood mill or something like that. You could use little cut like tree bits around on your trees to make it look like you're actually actively chopping the wood there for your mill. But otherwise I think the normal the bark wood block, I keep getting a tongue twister that one, but the bark wood block will look really good. We're gonna start getting into some furniture now though. The first one here is the spruce trapdoor. I've made a really fine looking table here. Again, medieval builds are gonna go really well with this new update with all the trapdoors and stuff like that. You could also use that kind of furniture for park benches. I've got some tables here and which I've dressed in a way with the polka dot mushroom block. I think it makes a really fun party tablecloth. I've also made lots of different chairs with the other trapdoors like the birch and the dark oak. You could play around and do lots of combinations. But something else you could do with the polka dot build look if you like. I don't particularly build my beds like this, some of you might, but I think it makes for a really cute little bed quilt cover or doona cover here in Australia. I have also used the wood bark block to make a hallway table runner, especially because you're not going to have any edges showing. You can put stuff on top now and it looks really clean. And the other thing I made here is a really dodgy TV, and I've made a little cabinet here with the birch cupboards. I think again the birch, just like the kitchen cupboards I do, look really good for cupboards or anything like that. Now I have made this little cottage house front here, and I've used the acacia trapdoors to make a picket fence. Now you might not like the look of this, but I think it looks more traditional than the average fence post just because it's the nice little slats, very close together, very fine, very small. I think it's more traditional to a picket fence in real life, but of course you could use the spruce or the dark oak or birch. You could use any of them for any type of fence, but I think the acacia in particular makes a really good picket fence. The next few builds though are some pet designs. So my first here is a bird cage. I've made this design before, but it was quite big on top because we didn't have the trapdoors back then. So this is a really great way to refine it. I've got a dog or cat bed here with some of the dark oak. I've also got this chunkier wood style bed which I've just accented with the spruce trapdoors as well. You could even build cat scratching posts with a mix of the polka dot mushroom block and dark oak and quartz. You could play around with a bunch of these. The best design though I think is actually this little rabbit hutch, or it could even be a chicken hutch. I think this is really realistic to what you see in real life. When I was growing up I had guinea pigs and this is what their hutches would look like. They're really close to the ground with a really big runt area. This design is particularly good because you can easily still reach the rabbits, but it looks really good to what you have in real life. The other pet design here is a very simple fish tank. I've just done the sand on the bottom, blue glass blocks, and then I made a trim out of the dark oak. I think it looks really nice and like a proper kind of fish tank as well. This is similar to what I have in real life with our big fish tank at home, so I think it looks quite good. But my last and final design here is a pumpkin patch. Now, it might seem a little bit silly, but now because you don't have the carved faces all over the pumpkins, pumpkin patches now can make really great decorative builds. You could build it in a fall style build, a Halloween style build, even like a Thanksgiving style build. Maybe you're building a big farm, you could build a pumpkin patch. But just a really simple little detail like the no faces can make a big change. But that is 35 designs that you can build in the new 1.3 update. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below on what you would build. But like always guys, thank you.